Thank you very much for that. That's a good outcome. Okay, Christchurch NZ, I think, are outside.
No, Christchurch Holdings.
Oh, Christchurch Holdings, sorry.
Done NZ.
I must say you were running a lot better meeting than he was.
It was just pure luck, wasn't it? They could have gone to shit.
Well, it was only out of the room.
You've made it hard for him both times. You're the one who's caused the problem both times.
Hey, I've just spoken up to the fact that you can touch that and see it there.
God.
I didn't know that, and I was scrolling through.
Oh, God, no. I use it all the time.
That's why I've got to sit next to younger people.
Well, you could pretty much sit next to anyone except Pauline.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, pretty right. 14? 14.
But she's got experience.
It was actually her that was doing it.
Okay, let's keep moving, everybody. Welcome, CCHL. Do you want to run through you got a PowerPoint, haven't you?
Are we on now?
Yeah, great. Do you want to do that first, and we'll just move. If there's anything you want to add, do it then, and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to just introduce? I don't know whether everyone's met Paul. It may be useful just to introduce yourself, Paul.
Yeah, kia ora, I'm Paul Silk, the new acting Chief Executive of CCHL. I've been in front of finance and performance in the past with different hats on, so pleased to be here in this particular role.
Great. And Tony, I don't know whether everyone's met you yet.
Yeah, I'm Tony Rowles, Chief Financial Officer of CCHL.
Great. And everyone knows Alex, so that's all good. Okay, crank into it.
Okay. We only had a few slides to go through. Thanks very much for those. We had quite a large number of councillors that come along to the AGM, which was just a couple of weeks ago. I just wanted to bring out a few highlights from the annual report. Revenue, $1 billion. It's been over $1 billion for 2 years in a row now. Profit, seeing 120 million, despite another challenging year. Profit has been driven by LPC with large container volumes going through it, increase in enabled connections. The airport, significant revaluation of land at the airport and a solid performance from Orion. Stable progress through the year, and I meant to say at the start, one of the themes of our AGM was stability and flexibility were the two themes that we shared. We shared a number of stories as to what's been going on within the subsidiaries, stories that people would have known about, but also some of the nice little nuggets of special things that your companies are up to. Dividends, we provided analysis of dividends during the year. I wasn't going to spend too much time on there other than to say at this stage the 23 dividends is still, I see Leah raises her head, is still to plan. We can't make commitments, but that's certainly our intention is to deliver that dividend.
That's not what we just heard.
And a reminder that there were significant dividends that were paid out as part of the capital repatriation. The highlights for me, just from a CCHL perspective, living wage, we announced at the AGM that all staff members in the whole group, other than one person, is on the living wage. We're working with a city care employee in Wellington, and we're working through a process to get them up as well. The Associate Director Programme finished, an 18-month programme finished during the financial year. We had five people involved there, and we've just appointed another 9 to do the programme going forward. So that is a programme where we are helping up-and-coming future directors to sit alongside boards within the group. Te Whariki, that's another highlight. That's going from strength to strength. The City Council staff are now on board. It's over 1,000 users. It's a platform where collaboration can occur between the various entities. The projects, we've got a Maori Pathways project and a sustainability project, which are both actively managed and uses the skill sets across the group. We issued a sustainability bond, the second entity in New Zealand to do so, and we've got a sustainability financial framework, which was delivered during the financial year. Also, from a CCHL perspective, Spencer Henshaw was an acquisition, is the first acquisition where the parent company had been involved with for a long time. We helped finance and work through that with the team. And probably the last area of appreciation for me is how the team worked through quite a challenging situation over the last 5 months, and I will cover some of that in the PX session.
All right, from a management point of view, all the financial information you need is in the annual report, and Alex has covered off on the highlights in what was a mixed year. But the June 22 year was also the year that CCHL started the journey to an integrated reporting framework, and the point of an integrated reporting framework is to take what are commonly regarded as the 5 capitals, but in our instance we've broken it out into 6 capitals as key inputs that we are using as an organisation to deliver on the outcomes that we stipulate in and agree in our statement of intent, but also outcomes that are aligned with community outcomes as well. And the point of this exercise, which we took some risk in the annual report from a management point of view of laying out what we call our conceptual framework. So even though it's a busy picture, what this does is provide some visibility on how we are thinking about those individual capitals as input. So what does it mean for us in terms of what we are actually accessing as an input? What do we intend to do with those inputs right across our work program, both at a portfolio level and at a subsidiary level? And what do we think we will achieve in terms of the outcomes that we're after, and again, reinforcing that these are outcomes that we will agree with you as part of the SOI process. And this is a major part of our commitment to greater transparency and accountability. We have heard the message loud and clear that as our shareholder, you want enhanced engagement, you want better communication, and more transparency. And so this is the primary tool which we will use to deliver on that. This is, as I said, it's a conceptual framework. It's a work in progress. It's by no means perfect. We will continue to engage on it with our board and with you as a shareholder, but it does highlight our direction of travel. And the final point I'll make on this is that it also hopefully tells the story that CCHL is not static as an organisation. It's had a difficult year as an organisation, but is by no means static. And hopefully that theme will come through as we prepare for the LOE and SOI round in the next few months.
Happy to take questions.
Yeah, no, that's really useful. It's a good summary.
Yeah.
Has anyone got questions? We're noting we've got a PX item as well on this.
Sorry, I'll go back to the framework.
Do you want to go? Yep, Yanni?
Yeah, sorry. My computer's just frozen, so I can't refer to the actual page. But in your report, you do note around the senior executive remuneration restraint. I was wondering if you could just give us any more detail, because I note that you sort of look forward, but we don't really get a sense of what's happened over the course of the year around senior executive remuneration restraint. So I don't know if there's any trends or analysis that you could give about what's happened in that space.
I can happy to make some comments on that without giving you the actual detail in terms of quantums. There's clearly an expectation in both the statement of enduring expectations, the letter of expectations, that we seek to achieve an outcome where we're closing the gap on remuneration. That's very clear, and all of the subsidiaries initiated policies which sought to deliver that as part of the 22 financial year. Heading into 23 and 24, it's quite a different economic environment. There is a very tight labour market. There's a significant competition for talent out there. We will have an outcome where we will see wages rise across the group. That's clear in all the negotiations that our subsidiaries are engaging with. But by the same token, the people that are our executives are in demand as well. It's going to be more challenging to close the gap in the next 2 years. We may do so in percentage terms, so the percentage increases that employees and salaried staff might go up to a greater percentage than management, but in absolute terms, that gap might actually widen. I'll just flag that as a risk right now.
I'm happy to move your report. Oh, do you have a question, Aaron? Sorry.
Yeah, it was just a brief one on the port company. With the post-COVID increase in shipping costs up around 400%, is any of that flowing through to ports? And if not, why? Or is it just all going to the shipping companies?
No, so the ports, LPC has had two things which have supported its financial performance in this year. So one is during lockdowns, Kiwis got good at consuming stuff, so there was more things going through the port, but the port has also restored some pricing power as a consequence of that. So that has been reflected in improved financial performance from the port, and they are strongly focused in continuing to improve.
Right.
And I think in the last 24 months, there's been a huge focus on renegotiating contracts as well to increase pricing.
But none of our subs are immune to cost pressures.
Yeah, but because I know like in the shipping game is not ships, unfortunately, but he said they get the monthly magazines and the companies are making just record profits month on month. He said the numbers are phenomenal, but I just wondered how much of that is it's best time to negotiate.
Yeah. So would you expect the port to use its pricing power at a time like this? Yes, and it is. Yeah.
So Tim's happy to second it. All in. Any discussion? No. All I was going to say, I thought that was a really useful presentation and really clear for everybody. So the more of that, the better. It's fantastic because not only for us but for people watching online. So I think the diagrams and everything are really useful. So thank you for that. So that's been moved and seconded. All in favour, say aye. Aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you. Do you want